back in studio with the one and only Josh Ryan. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the professional sports world, starting off with a bit of a hot topic in the NHL. Taylor Hall, former Edmonton Oiler, possibly former New Jersey Devil. His name's been on the trade block quite a bit lately.
And they've actually been holding him out of games at this point to try to preserve his health in hopes that he's not going to be damaged goods when they trade him. That's been a really interesting case where Taylor Hall doesn't feel like more than yesterday that he was an MVP candidate, and now he's going to end up with another team. His former team, the Oilers, have been rumored in that. I'm not sure where the trade fit is there because while they could certainly use some depth, I don't think they have the pieces to get him, and they certainly don't want to sacrifice anything on the defensive end to do so. The Flames, another team that have been rumored, another Canadian market, but again, I don't know what piece they'd be willing to give up, and myself personally as a Flames fan, the way they're starting to play now, I don't think it's actually worth it for them to give up some of their defensive depth to get him in on the offensive end when we already have a fair amount of offensive depth as long as Johnny Gaudreau continues to score. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think you see him in a Canadian market. I think there's another team that could swoop in.
So quick question, West or East?
I think the Western Conference. There's a couple of teams, for example, the Sharks and the Ducks, who still feel like they could be playoff teams that will make a swing at it. I'm sure the Canucks would love to, but again, I don't think they have the pieces, so I don't see it a Canadian team. Him out in California, not too far out of possibility. Speaking of hockey, the World Juniors are coming up quick, and it should be an interesting World Juniors year for Canada.
For sure. A couple cuts that I wasn't too sure about with Peyton Krebs, the Vegas Golden Knights first round pick getting cut there. And that, so I don't know how they're going to fare out. You know, he added some depth, especially defensively as a forward, but they're getting even more depth from some NHL players coming back. Joe Veleno and Barrett Hayton, two ones already confirmed coming back, and possibly Noah Dobson to add to that back end. Could possibly join Lloydminster native Ty Smith there. Mm-hmm. So that's really exciting. Something else exciting is some G League news, the NBA's minor league affiliate having some big news coming out of it.
Yeah, they're finally talking about unionizing with the National Basketball Players Association. You'd think this is something they would have done many years ago, but again, that organization has only been around since 2001, unlike other minor leagues. So now you could see an increase in pay potentially coming for players. There's 28 teams now, so they should have some form of representation to make sure situations are better for players. I believe that the base salary is $35,000, which is not very much. And then really quickly, we want to touch on before we go, quite the President's Cup.
Yeah, for sure. In a tournament that's not usually quite this exciting, it really got sparked up. This was the first time ever that there was a comeback within the tournament, with the United States coming back on the last day, really just battling back. Tiger Woods was the playing captain there, and he really just carried his team and led them to a championship on that last day, with Matt Kuchar sinking that final putt. A couple key Canadians for the international side. Mike Weir was assistant captain, not playing, and Adam Hadwin played for the international side as well. This is the 8th straight year for the United States winning that, so it looks like they're starting to maybe start to turn it up a bit more even. And Tiger Woods, 44 years old, still killing it in this game. Absolutely insane. Something else that's been insane has been the NFL situation thus far, with a couple teams clinching. Now only 2 weeks left, and I guess better time than ever to send it over to our NFL analyst, Abby St. John, with the last minute of play.
Thanks, guys. With only 2 weeks left of the regular season, several teams will be heading to the playoffs. After the Rams lost to the Cowboys 44-21, the Seahawks, Packers, and 49ers clinched playoff berths. The Patriots and Bills also clinched a spot in the playoffs with their wins on Sunday. The Chiefs, Ravens, and Saints clinched their division titles. The Titans, Colts, Browns, Raiders, Rams, and Eagles are still in the hunt for the playoffs, and the rest of the league has been eliminated from playoff contention. During the Ravens' 42-21 win over the Jets during Thursday Night Football, quarterback Lamar Jackson beat Michael Vick's 1,039 single-season record for rushing yards for a quarterback. Jackson currently has 1,103 rushing yards. Tonight's Monday Nighter is an important one for both teams involved. The Saints are at home against the Colts, and even though they've clinched a spot in the playoffs, they still need a win if they want a chance at the number 1 or 2 seed atop the NFC, which is currently held by the Seahawks and Packers. The Colts are still in the hunt for the playoffs, so they need a win to keep that hope alive. My Monday night pick is a Saints win 32-24, and that is your last minute of the play.